Heading over to X to find out the breaking news. Fun fact, less than 7% of the global population is invested in crypto. So you are early. Now, obviously, we've done this a very, very long time now. A lot of you guys, I've been here since 2015. Some of you guys have been here forever. Hey, you're a genius. If you just bought your first crypto yesterday, you're a genius. Trust me, you're early. Now in America, obviously this number is much higher, but the global population, only 7%. Now there is a very alarming situation going on in traditional finance right now. Finance Lot posted this here. Holy SHIT, the Federal Reserve's repurchase agreement or repo jumped $50 billion today. Now that was Friday, yesterday, which bank blew up is what his comment was here, wondering why the heck did this happen? Now this did come in two tranches. As we can see, even Coin Bureau was posting about this as well. Fed pumps $29 billion into the markets overnight. The Fed quietly injected $29.4 billion into the banking system via overnight repos, the highest in years, a clear sign of liquidity stress in the system. So you may be wondering, like, what the heck is this, right? Well, what this is the banks, Bank of America, Chase Bank, Wells Fargo, etc. They have to have liquidity because if somebody were to go to the bank and needing to withdraw their funds and they didn't have enough, which we've heard stories where they don't really keep that much money in the banks at the banks. But as a whole, the massive corporation itself, Bank of America, Chase Bank, they have liquidity throughout their system, but they may be running out of monies in their whole conglomerate. So what do? They go in and they ask the Federal Reserve, hey, we need to borrow some money, send it over. Now, the other interesting thing to consider here is the fact that with the federal funds rate being dropped, maybe they just have a little bit more confidence that they're not going to have to pay too much money. And like I said, $29.4 billion was the first tranche, then upping that an additional $20 billion to a total of $50 billion just yesterday. We will continue to follow this for you and really dive into what is going on in traditional finance. So make sure you subscribe as we continue to follow along. Asking Grok to dive in a little deeper says indicating banks face severe end-of-month liquidity shortages to meet reserve requirements. This surge mirrors the September of 2019 repo market stress that prompted Fed interventions and foreshadowed the 2020 crisis. But today's event highlights vulnerabilities in higher rate environment with banks holding underwater treasuries. Also important to note here, Ripple is unlocking $1 billion worth of XRP today from escrow worth roughly $2.49 billion at these current prices. Usually only 200 to 300 XRP gets used or sold, with the rest of it being relocked. And it is important to note for those of you that are new here that you didn't know, this actually happens every single month, but it still catches attention because it can affect XRP's price. Some worry that it might flood the market, while others see it as a sign of Ripple's control over supply. It's key for investors to watch how this all plays out over the next couple of weeks, especially with partnerships like the one with ABSA Bank. Not your keys, not your crypto scenario going on with a central exchange, MEXC. They're apologizing to a gentleman by the name of White Whale. He's a trader who had $3 million locked in their account. But taking a look here, breaking massive withdrawals from MEXC, investors are actively pulling their funds from MEXC official, rising serious concerns. Social media is buzzing with rumors that the exchange may be insolvent or soon to collapse. About 3 months ago, a trader named White Whale, he posted on X that MEXC had actually frozen $3 million worth of his crypto holdings and would not give it to him. In a Friday post, MEXC's chief strategy officer, Cecilia, said that she effed up. The exchange effed up in handling this situation with a crypto user called White Whale. In July, MEXC froze $3.1 million of the user's funds, allegedly due to the exchange's risk control rules. Now, what really happens is you can go onto MEXC and you could do leverage trading. Well, White Whale, turns out, is really good at leverage trading and turned his little bit of money into a lot of bit of money, and he tried to take profits. But they told him, no, you cannot. As this gained more popularity and attention on X, people started withdrawing, and guess what happened? Well, Celia comes on X and tries to stop the bleeding. And she says, we effed up. We apologize to White Whale too, and his money is already released. He can claim it anytime. I messed up communicating with him. I got emotional. I shouldn't have. Since I joined MEXC 2 months ago, because she is new to the actual company to try to come in and save it from this fiasco that's going down, She said, we grew really fast years ago, and we're all very small exchange, but given our current scale, our risk operations and PR teams have not kept up. She went on to say, we're going to change that. I've been driving the leadership team to recognize the issues. Now, there's a couple of other posts. She was actually going back and forth with another user, not White Whale, about how MEXC has gone overboard with limiting people. In fact, there's even a gentleman on this thread in there. They actually lost $138, but they were like, hey, I know it's not $3 million, but the fact that this exchange was willing to freeze my $138 is like even more telling. You know, why are they holding everyone's money? Do they not have the money to pay people out? Well, Cecilia is trying to blame this on the old leadership team that are still there at the company, saying that they're no good and I'm here to change all of that. She even says after this whole scenario, they're listening now and they all acknowledge that MEXC has to change. She did go on to say it's not just about resolving the White Whales case. For any other users with unresolved accounts, I'll be announcing a fast track channel tomorrow. Stay tuned. Here you go. I'm waiting to hear from you. 430,000 has been locked up for 3 years. She says, DM me. Then we have another user that's starting to ride this wave as well in the same exact scenario. Update on my MEXC situation. I don't want to make this public. At first, I genuinely believed it was a random bug or system error. But after 20 days, more than $3.3 million USDT of my funds remain frozen on MEXC official, completely inaccessible. And he does share actual screenshots here stating that it is a real deal thing. Withdrawal failed, withdrawal failed. He goes on to say he reached out to support. They said, sorry, you can't do anything. We're not going to help you. No evidence, just frozen forever. He goes on to say, before you say reach out to support, I did several times. They reached out to me. I'll keep updating. Their response to him was, nope, due to abnormal profit from your future trading, meaning he did too well. Hence, it's been a clawback. Cecilia does come into this thread as well and talk. Somehow this has become a copy and paste for engagement farming. We are busy helping real users to release their funds. If you really have frozen funds, please DM me. He says, thank you. I did reaching out. Income Sharks, which is also a great crypto Twitter page, says, this is the only thing in crypto I want regulated. The exchanges. Exchanges and employees that refuse withdrawals need jail time. Another member of the community goes on to say, more regular users wouldn't stand a chance in this situation. So yeah, it's great that the White Whale finally got paid, but it doesn't change the fact that MEXC froze a legit trader's funds for months, only fixed it once the internet got involved. And like I said, we covered this actually a little while ago. I think it was about a month and a half ago. We talked about this in one of the videos about what White Whale was saying, and no one was coming to help him. The exchange would not get back to him, nothing like that. But luckily, he had a large enough following on social media to really go after it. And by the way, outside of just this MEXC situation, if you ever have a customer support issue, if you tweet about it and tag them in the public feed, a lot of times they will get back to you, whether it's you missed a flight or your flight was delayed or your car rental company did something or Amazon did something. It is actually a very strong way, x.com, to make that post there, and you will get engagement back from that company. According to data from Nansen, the price of MEXC's token dropped about 3.5% from $2.30 to $2.32 at the time of publication.